So, um, a lot of us are aware of police TV shows. The organized term is called Copaganda, which is a portmanteau of cop and propaganda. Now, as we all know, cops are very prominent in society. And I was thinking to myself, superheroes are like cops. And they kind of tried to tackle that with Captain America as, the American way of looking at life. And I figured, is it healthy to keep indoctrinating good cops in society when reality shows otherwise? For decades, there's been shows about the cops' overall drive for justice always being good, and they never suffer for anything. They don't even emotionally go through things. And I wanted to know, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think for me, to be honest, to be frank, I've never really thought about that. Like I never really thought about, because I look at some of these shows as just like creative shows. I don't think they're trying to, because investigation shows, especially in the 50s and the 60s, are like extremely entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and it's like it's a very interesting, what do you call it, like genre in film, So I necessarily didn't look at it like that, but I can understand. But also, so there's certain cops. Like I'm not saying like all cops is like good. I'm not going to say that, but there is like certain TV shows that I feel like displays a certain like humanity for that cops show, like for instance Law and Order, because I grew up on Law and Order.
I did too.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when they're not really cops, they're more like, well, they're cops,
They're
but they're
detectives.
like detectives. You know what I'm saying? So detectives are a little bit more.
Yeah, they have more responsibilities.
But they're also remember that remember that film with Tupac?
Oh yeah.
Wasn't he a detective in that?
Yeah, the one where he was with the Jim Brewer. I forgot the name of the comedian.
It was some white 90s guy.
Yeah.
And they were stupid. They was like corrupt. They was pieces of shit. Like Tupac played a piece of shit.
Yeah, and he died in that movie too.
He was on drugs. So I feel like there's a balance. As long as if there's a balance of, of good and evil, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like The Wire is like the best representation of cops. The Wire. I feel like it's the best representation. And like the season 3 of Wire, of how, I don't know if he's not a commissioner, but he's like the chief. He's like a chief police officer.
Yeah.
And how he had them in a controlled area, and it was like letting them sell. Like, I thought that was fucking brilliant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know, man, like, as long as for me it's like creative and again shows like a healthy balance of what good cops look like and what bad cops look like. When I was watching that YouTube channel that you put in the thing.
Yeah. Skip intro.
Yeah, it was the Copaganda, which
Yeah.
you were saying, like as far as like in LA, that LA cop film, and I think it was like the late 50s, the mid 50s or something like that.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Test something.
It's just the one where you go dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand how, but I can't really talk about that because I didn't really watch it, number one. So I can't really say how it, like, I can only go by his word. So if I watch it, I could probably give you a better understanding of if it was like really that deep. But I think for the most part, like, shows that we grew up on, like we see it. Like you see, like even in Spike Lee films, like you see cops that, trash or pieces of shit or, what I'm saying, brutality, police brutality. Like, I don't know. Like for me, I think it's like a healthy balance,
I get that. For me, I just felt like there's still a lot of sensationalism that takes place with the police, and it can still rub off on society in a lot of weird ways, and especially with superhero films and other little media like Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol gave a whole interesting dynamic to police dogs, and the studies prove that police dogs are really ineffective. But we still love Chase.
You said police dogs are ineffective to what?
To finding drug smugglers. They're good at biting people.
Oh yeah, they're good at chasing people.
Yeah, and like even the history of police dogs started with segregation. All that footage of us getting hosed down in the 60s, that's when police dogs were put to work. Yeah. That's when they were great cops.
Yeah.
Murder. But I just felt like a certain type of way because, the idea of the superhero is always super glorified for like the past 10 years. And we don't see the outcome and the effects of it as much as we should. But like, do you remember that guy, Phoenix Jones?
Phoenix Jones?
Yeah.
From what?
He was a vigilante out in, I think, Washington. And he like had this black and gold outfit, had like a bulletproof vest. And he and a bunch of people would dress up really flamboyantly and, they'd tase people, fight drunken people.
Yeah, I didn't know about this.
Yeah. For a minute back in like the 2010s, there was just people who decided to become vigilantes. But what ended up happening with Phoenix was he became corrupt, and in order to perpetuate his own image, he was selling the drugs that he's supposed to keep off of the streets as propaganda for himself. And I think he's in jail. And if he's not, he should be in jail because that's wrong. This is someone taking the law into their own hands, just like that dude from the protests who came with the guns just because.
You're talking about the kid.
Yeah, that kid.
But he was defending himself though.
He came from out of state. He came from out of state with those guns with like that intent. There was no reason for him to be there other than the fact that he had something that he could use that he felt would make a difference. And it was like, you're not legally supposed to be here to be doing that. So that kind of mindset also brews with the kind of media that shows cops in a particular manner.
So do you want to see cops? So you're basically saying that you just want to see cops in a super realistic manner.
Absolutely.
And you don't want but that kind of takes away from don't you feel like that kind of gets in the way with creativity at some point? Like for instance, right? Like I like The Boys. I look at that show as I understand what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like it just do too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that we have authority and then authority is corrupt. We get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody deals with it worse than the next man or somebody deals with authority or whatever. Like, we get it. You know what I'm saying? But it's I feel like the message kind of gets blurred when you start messing with people's creativity. We are fusing politics and creativity. You know what I'm saying? where is the line with that with you? Do you feel like that if we're going to be, we shouldn't be creative and make movies that we want when it involves authority or police? Or should we just not do it? Like,
I'm iffy on it just because I see how it trickles out into real life. I'm all for creativity. You see me dressed here like this.
mm-hmm.
Name the film that this is from, y'all. Put that in the comments. But I just feel like, especially when it comes to heroic activities, there's so many other things that are left untapped. We don't talk about how we can make equality for all people, how we can save the environment, how we can have clean water.
You have Captain Planet. Captain Planet, he's our hero. Gonna take pollution down to zero. Come on, man.
Oh, man. Damn, not Captain Planet.
Yo, I mean, it's true, bro. We got Captain Planet, bro. Like, we got so many, there's so many, like, again, like I said, like, I feel you, you know what I'm saying? But I just, like, I can't lie to you, bro. The way I grew up when it comes to, like, I've seen every single, like, portray of a cop. We watch Boys in the Hood, when you watch Do the Right Thing, when you see Reno 911, that's like a comedy goofy, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
they have some spots in there where it's like, okay, that's real, but they trying to make it funny, you know? Again, Law and Order is my favorite, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's just like like one of the best cop shows to ever exist, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know?
Yeah.
And I just don't, me personally, I'm all for like change and stuff like that, but I feel like how will we do that with film? Do you think it's a problem making film that important enough for it to have a fickle effect outside in the real world? Like,
low key, yes, because you have to remember some of those films were funded by the police in real life. There was an FBI show funded by the FBI. Even the Captain America movie was funded by some branch of the government just so it can tell a particular narrative and control the stories. And absolutely, I'm all for the creative process, but like they also love to go around people's real life rights with those shows because of the sake of creativity. And in real life, that makes people feel either really good about what bad people do, or they feel bad about what good people do, and vice versa. I've had people that would watch like true crime, and they get like overwhelmed listening to these stories. There's even like some lady that killed somebody just because she was watching it so much, and she just wanted to see what it was like. And as soon as she did it, instantly regretted it and went to jail.
But how can you blame that on TV shows and movies? Like, how you blame that on, that was just like, that's like saying like, so do you think video games have an effect on the real world?
I don't. I just feel like when you have that kind of real authority that makes sure that you see like one side of the overall issue, it's a little messed up.
But that's not true though. That's not true because I could understand if we was in fucking like, if we was in like the 20s, like yeah, like D.W. Griffin was a piece of shit. Like
Absolutely.
he made Ku Klux Klan look like they was like superheroes.
Yeah, the
But
nation.
that's not. But I mean, I could understand if we was in that time frame, but we're not in that time frame. Like we're in a frame where basically everybody's able to, especially now, everybody's able to pick up a camera and tell their story. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I could understand if it was like if we was in like a timeline where like only rich white people, you know, racist people can tell their story. So what do you think about that? Like,
I feel like the overall creative process, as you said, that very much matters. But I would like there to be like a balance for it because I just see so much more on one side of things, and I see how people respond to it in real life because of that.
okay,
And that's like that's my whole thing. And I hear what you're saying exactly about how we are able to, you know, separate from that fourth wall and not make it so much about that, but it's still like a very slow trickling effect from being able to separate reality from fiction. Even like Cops, the reality TV show, they kind of got canceled and they kind of spun off into other things. And it still shows like sensationalized ideas of how the law works. And that's just my whole issue. I want it to be fair.
so do you like The Boys?
I haven't watched The Boys. I would check it out, especially as a creative. I would check it out, but I've been fatigued with superhero stuff since like 2015, maybe even earlier. Like it's exhausting. I want there to be real creative energies put out there when it comes to how we sensationalize stuff. Like even today, we were I asked that question: does Scooby-Doo count somewhat like that Kyle Rittenhouse guy?
No.
You don't think they're like?
I think Kyle Rittenhouse. I want to say Kyle Rittenhouse. Well, I want to call him a guy because he was pretty young. Like he was like 17 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Scooby-Doo's are full of 17-year-olds too.
Yeah, and they go and they're stupid enough to go around and solve fucking mysteries about ghosts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I think
non-violent crimes
yeah,
of fraud.
No, I feel you. You know, I don't really know much about the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. Like I said, it seemed like it was just a kid, and he you know what I'm saying? Like I'll look into it, but I think for the most part, like, you know, don't you feel like we kind of give, like, what is your perception? I mean, not perception, but what is the reality? What is indeed the reality, and that should be displayed on film when it comes to cops? Like I'm talking about, and it don't have to be 100% of the time, maybe like 80% of the time.
A sense of humanity, no matter what, and that includes fucking up. That includes innate biases and flaws and whatever psychologically you have going on here. Especially like with New York cops, they're not all the way trained. You can get into the school and they'll put you out on the beat immediately, and you can figure shit out, but that doesn't make you like a good cop. And it's hard to find like a good cop.
And you think that's not displayed in shows and movies? Like you never seen a movie where there's a cop who, well, we saw, well, the Tupac one.
Yeah.
That's one. And then okay, so let's go to like actual cops, like not detectives, actual cops, like you mean like cops that walk the beat. That's what you're talking about?
Them and like what's his face that inspired Training Day.
Okay.
Because that guy was real.
Okay, so you got Training Day. You need more.
I want more, but not in a way that that like gives them a humanity that you enjoy.
You want them to be like completely hated.
I want there to be like an understandable hate So there's a realization that there's something that we're doing with the law that doesn't quite work. There's something that we're doing with society that doesn't quite work, that we justify by having them around, as opposed to reforming certain ideas and thoughts towards how we interact with one another, so people aren't out here with like malicious criminal intent. I understand there's still going to be a few people who fly through the cracks and end up on the wrong side of the tracks, but there's still enough things that can, I guess, deconstruct organized crime.
What do you think, this is my last question.
No problem.
What do you think is more important to have a portrayal of a cop? The fear or the love? I know it's not black and white like that, but it's just a question. Like, what do you think?
I mean, we definitely know how to give cops fear, but...
No, do we need to fear them or love them? Like, do you need to show a portrayal of, like, fear? Because it seems like you're going towards the fear part, and that fear is mostly, like, a fear of just evil. Like, they're more so like the evil side of fear. And that's like...
Yeah, I would definitely say we need a little bit more fear of cops, and I'm not saying that like every real cop you need to feel that way, because I have family members, I have friends who are in the law, but it's just like, you know, when you take that position in society, it's gonna do something to you, and I see how it happens. I see how it results in those individuals, you know. I have like one friend who's a cop that she joined with the intent of wanting to take out her frustrations on perps. And that sounds crazy. Because it's just like...
So that is a type of fear that needs to be displayed in movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like we don't get that psychological connection where if you're putting yourself on the edge like that for society, for safety, is going to be like a double-edged sword that you have to bring back home. Maybe like that movie Heat with De Niro and Pacino. There was a nice dichotomy where De Niro, as the criminal, he had like this great love life that ended tragically, while Pacino had this terrible love life that ended with some harmony at the end, but like there's not enough of that in my eyes.
And you feel like cop like buddy cop shows, or like Reno 911 and even Law and Order, like that shows like that we have like a love for cops. You feel like that's dangerous?
To a degree. And I love Law and Order SVU. I love that show. I don't watch it as much as I used to. I was even watching Organized Crime as well because, Stabler is that.
Yeah, I love Detective Stabler.
Yo, Detective Stabler.
And what's the other girl name? What's the girl name?
I was gonna say, not Munch. Damn. I'm so sorry, ladies. I forgot her name.
I know her name is Mariska. Hardigree.
Yeah, I remember Mariska, but
I forgot her name. I ain't watched that shit in a while. But like, I just, me personally, my thing is, I kind of feel like the opposite of what you're saying. Like, I feel like it gets kind of, I don't like when creativity gets too political, because I feel like it just fucks up. I don't never want to judge anything that people bring out, because that is their own perception of what they feel. You know what I'm saying? And I can't be mad at that. Like, if someone is, you know what I'm saying? Because there's people who are married to cops, and that's, you know what I'm saying? And they know this person, and they know he's a good person, and they also know that there's cops who are out there who are fucking evil, and they're bad, and they're corrupt, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes everybody don't want to hear that message, you know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, it's just like listening to music. And not everybody want to listen to fucking, you know, and I love Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? But not everyone want to listen to fucking Kendrick Lamar all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas don't want to listen to that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm dead ass. Like,
I
people don't want
know.
to listen to that shit. Like, people want to listen, we gonna be all right. Niggas want to shake their ass and go to the club and dance with a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Drop it for the 99 to the 2000s.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you on some circumstances, but I just feel like I just hate politicians who, like, to be honest with you, I just have a hate for like political people who come into the arts. I just fucking hate it, man, because it's like, brother, like, all right, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You know, I'm more of like a social person.
Yeah.
I'm not more like do the right thing. I'm not really a fan of that movie. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like there's certain things in there that was a little bit off. And
you said it was exaggerated how that narrative spun out of control from something so small as about like the picture on the wall.
Which happens.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I'm saying? But it just, I don't know, it just didn't hit me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't hit me like that. It
was really kind of out of nowhere. The way
the
way that film happened, it was really just like, oh, matter of fact.
You know what I'm saying? And like, it just, which happens, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a movie, so I expect it to happen in that way. Like, things is, you know, shit just happened. Just like in, but, you know, compared to something like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Where the guy was just leaning over, he shoots him in the face.
He shot Phil Lamar in the face.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, damn, I killed
I understand that a little bit more than, you know what I'm saying? Like the rising point.
Yeah. I guess for me, part of what art should do is have some commentary about how we deal with addressing the law and fear in society, because a big thing, especially with fascism, is just this idea of having police everywhere and justifying it for our safety, and I don't think that's a good thing either. Mm-hmm. And I feel like not only do like regular cop shows kind of do that, superhero movies do that, spies are a whole different form of cops, you know, and I want to kind of be free from that specific narrative. I still want there to be creativity, but...
Can you name a superhero movie that you like that kind of displays like a good...
I would say the Captain America Civil War movie, because that was specifically them talking about that and their place in society as a form of police, because they address how much destruction that they cause. Mm-hmm. And there's these two sides of the argument saying, oh, well, if we all have to go through this, there's something a little off with, you know, our responsibility to society. Because what if they decide, no, we're just going to let some bad shit happen. And we were the responsible ones, and we're all going to repeat, with great power comes great responsibility, as often as possible. Excuse me. But I don't know. For me, I just want there to be more creativity that doesn't necessarily harping on those kind of characters. Because there's so many stories we can tell.
What about Hancock? What do you think about Hancock? That's what I was thinking about.
Fucking bum ass.
They threw a superhero in jail. I think he was in prison.
Yeah, and he was chilling there willingly. I mean, it's a dumbass movie, but I like it as a superhero romantic comedy because it's not sensationalizing their need for this kind of force around. It's just saying they're always there, and they still have things that they go through, and they're still very human. You know, I'm still weak when he gets the groupie. She comes to the trailer, and he's like, "Get off, get off, get off!" And he shot up the trailer. He's like, And not only was it like under a minute, she looked at him like, "Oh, you weird," and left. It was laughing. I was crying.
Yeah, it was such a great display of like a black superhero, like a black man who just he was a black man who just supposed to had fucking superpowers.
I would love to have seen that if it was Samuel Jackson, though. I can't even lie.
He should be in the second one. I think they're making a Hancock too. I think.
I felt
Isn't
like
they
they
making
would
a
have.
Hancock too?
I feel like they were thinking about doing that a long time ago, but they probably would have passed on it by now with his Wolverine jacket.
But he's making one with Michael B. Jordan, right?
Oh, Jesus.
I
No.
think so. I think he's making some movie with Michael B. Jordan. I think it's Hancock too. People were saying it was the other movie, the one where he was like zombies or whatever, it was like zombies.
Oh, yeah. I
Am
Am
Legend.
Legend. That's what
Yeah.
I thought it was. I thought it was I Am Legend.
But I think it's Hancock too.
What would you guys rather see? Hand Job 2, I mean Hancock? Or I Am Legend 2?
Me is Hancock. Hancock was probably one of the most unique superhero movies I've ever watched.
I will shove your head. I will shove your head up his ass. Call me crazy one more time. Call me bitch for
He said, your head is going up my ass.
He said, you picked the luck of the straw. I was like, nah. Why the fuck this little boy head going up your ass? What the fuck? You're like, you way too old to be saying that. Way the fuck too old to be saying that. Even to another adult, that's weird. That's Anyway, chat, please let us know your place with Copaganda, whether it be local law enforcement, whether it be superheroes, whether it be westerns, spies, Scooby-Doo. Again, do you count Scooby-Doo as a form of vigilante detective series? Let us know.
My man Marshall on some defund police shit, man.
Hey, man, I just want society to grow and think about other things that would show real heroics. And that's all. Fighting people and fighting for certain causes that seem to be repetitive, that's a lack of creativity to me.
Okay.
And that's why I want to see someone talk about how we're going to fix homelessness, how we're going to fix poverty, how we're going to fix health care.
But do you really want that in a film or do you want that in real life?
It starts from one place to another.
I
Because
guess.
people are already trying to do it in real life, but, you know, there's enough other people out there who don't want to see that. They want to keep patriarchy as same as possible or even return to its former glory in a different decade. And that's not going to be good for anybody.
No, The Wire episode season 3 is probably one of the some of the best written season I've ever seen. They had them all controlled in one area and it was, they was doing dirt, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least it was controlled and no one was killed. I don't think anybody was killed it was like a week. Like, they've been doing that for like a week or two or something like that in the film. Like, no one died. They kind of do that here. Like, you can go into like a controlled environment and do like a small little dosage of I think heroin or something like that. Like, you can do it. So,
I got you.
I just thought that was like fucking brilliant, bro. I thought that was like that was brilliant.
Cutter, grab the Zoom in 3, 2, 1. No shit.